Hi, my name is Bailey. First, I just want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting us and listening to our stories. It means so much to all of us here. I first want to start out by giving you some background information about me. 24 years ago, this month, I was diagnosed with a rare brain cancer. This was a life-threatening cancer that could have taken my life at any time. My family decided to go a natural route with medicine, along with my treatment in the hospital. My mom decided against any vaccinations for my siblings and I, so we eventually had to catch up with all of our vaccinations. My doctor told my mom at our checkup, "I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it because it's working." By the grace of God, my medical team, and the natural approach we took to medicine, I am here today to tell you my story. 3 years ago, I gave birth to my son. He's a happy boy. He goes through some health issues from time to time, some that I'm currently dealing with and going where we have an appointment to Riley, which is where I was when I was 3 years old. But this is something that I will proudly deal with because there was a time when I didn't know if I could ever have children. When my son was just under 2, his father and I were going through a divorce. At the time, I was living in Hawaii because my then husband was in the military. So I was forced to uproot my son and myself and move back to Indiana with my family. Thank God it happened when it did because a few short months later, COVID hit. Everything was shut down. Nobody could travel. So you can imagine how difficult it would be to move halfway across the country to home, to my family. It was almost impossible. So like I said, thank God it happened when it did. As a single mom with a toddler trying to find a job, as you all can imagine, very hard. It's a struggle. All this background information that I'm sharing with you, I want you to keep in mind as I continue to tell my story. In December of 2020, I started a job with a company, Adult and Child Mental Health. I was a face-to-face mental health advisor for children grades K through 12. I loved my job. It was exactly what I went to school for. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and applied behavioral analysis. So working with children, that's exactly what I wanted to do. During this time, we, of course, were wearing masks. We were face-to-face, just like everybody else. We were going through the motions, wearing the mask. I started hearing of all these companies that were mandating the vaccine. My company at the time was not mandating the vaccine, so I thought I was in a good place. I thought, okay, at least I'm safe. However, they did give paid vacations to people that went to go get the vaccine. 2 days off if you went and got your vaccines. If you got the shot, you wore a card on our lanyards that said vaccinated in red letters. And to me, in my opinion, that is a vaccination passport, absolutely. On 8/12, a new policy went into effect at Adult and Child that all personnel must be vaccinated to be on the premises. This included janitors, everybody on Adult and Child ground had to be vaccinated. I did not agree with this policy. They stated in an email that if we did not get this shot, we would voluntarily be resigned from our position. You can imagine my hesitation due to my past health conditions. I sent in a well-written letter that a paralegal had helped me write that stated I will not be receiving the COVID vaccine and I will not voluntarily be resigning from my position because this was not my choice. I was being forced. I sent in a religious exemption on 8/23 because they were accepting religious and medical exemptions. So on 8/23, I sent that in. It was approved the following day. I was ecstatic. Hey, I'm all clear. Nope. I had a meeting on 9/3 with HR to discuss my accommodations. During this meeting, I was told that no accommodations could be made since I was face-to-face with clients. I offered to wear a mask. I offered to get COVID tested weekly at their expense. They still denied everything. I was told that I could apply to another position that was remote, that I could work from home. However, this position was substantially less money than what I was currently making, and I would still need to go through the formal application process like everyone else that wanted this job. This job was not a guarantee to me. I received a letter on 10/3 that I was put on a 2-week suspension without pay and told I could not be on the adult and child location. This included the school that I worked at, which at the time, the school completely disagreed with they wanted to keep me there, but I was ultimately adult and child employee, so there was nothing they could do about it. So 2 weeks without pay for a single mom supporting her family is most definitely a struggle. But there is no way that I could risk my life for a company that didn't have my best interest in mind. Because you start hearing all these stories. You hear, people are getting sick, people are dying, women are having miscarriages. You hear all this, and how can I put my life on the line for them? During this layoff time, I was told that I needed to send in my equipment, and I could get my equipment back if or when I got my shot. I requested a termination letter to be sent to me before any equipment was returned. I received a letter in the mail on 10/16. I had been terminated due to non-compliance of vaccination policy. I had returned my equipment on 10/18. And I kept everything documented in my folder. I have receipts, I have proof of everything. And actually, a friend of mine that was working there at the time, I pushed back a little bit more than she did, and she never got a termination letter. She never got anything. She sent in her equipment and never got anything, and I asked her if she requested a termination letter, and she said no. So therefore, I'm assuming that I got the termination letter due to me requesting it. Thankfully, I had been looking for employment elsewhere during this whole process. I knew it was coming. I started a job just 2 weeks later with a company that I have really enjoyed working for. They are not mandating anything for me to get shots, mask, anything. I sometimes think about, what if I didn't have a backup plan? Adult and child was going to fire a single mother, leaving her with no income to support her child. This is a clear violation of my constitutional rights, and adult and child should be held accountable for what they did to me and many others in the same position. Thank you.